Today's date is September the 6th. Tyson Fury's fighting Wladimir Klitschko on October the 24th. That means we're approximately, give or take a day or two, 7 weeks away from the big fight. And I want to say that this is a fight that I'm, really, really excited for. For me, as a fan of boxing, as a fan of heavyweight boxing, as a fan of sports in general, this really is, time to get excited. There'll be butterflies in my stomach. And I've definitely been enjoying the build-up to this one. I really have. Tyson Fury's just such a character, isn't he? The rants at the press conference, the interview last night on Sky Sports. One thing I thought was worth mentioning specifically, and I thought it was good to mention this on my channel in particular, because when I start a story, I like to kind of follow it through. And I spoke at some length, it must be 4 or 6 weeks ago now, about Tyson Fury's weight gain and about how bad he looked. And I speculated that it may be detrimental to a career, detrimental to this fight, for him to fluctuate up and down in weight so much between fights. Now, I still think that's a very relevant thing, because Klitschko's an athlete. Klitschko is in shape 365 days of the year. Klitschko wakes up on Boxing Day after his turkey and he's still got a six-pack. Klitschko, not that it's all about six-packs, but Klitschko is the ultimate professional. He's like a Floyd Mayweather, consummate professional. He's always in shape. Tyson Fury is not. We know he lives the life a bit outside of the sport, let's put it that way. And I still think that has got some potential to cause him problems, because if this fight goes rounds 9, 10, 11, 12, and let's face it, it may, because Tyson Fury isn't the biggest puncher in the world, and he's got to look at more than simply knocking out Wladimir Klitschko. So if he goes to those late rounds, what will his stamina be like? And it's easy to have stamina fighting 12 rounds against Derek Chisora, but what will your stamina be like fighting 12 rounds against a guy like Wladimir Klitschko, who's definitely the elite heavyweight of the sport and of the last decade, in my opinion? So I still think that's relevant. Having said that, what I would say is Fury looks to have whipped himself up into pretty decent shape pretty quickly. Looking at him last night, obviously he was wearing a big suit and a hat and stuff, so it's kind of hard to determine exactly what kind of condition he was. But looking at his face looked lean. He didn't look like he'd, been carrying a lot of fat. He didn't look like he'd been out drinking and, out eating fast food. He looked like a guy who'd been training, living the fighter's lifestyle a bit more. And I think he's going to come to the ring in good shape, possibly the best shape we've ever seen him in for the Wladimir Klitschko fight. Now, Tyson Fury's a guy who's put in various different performances over the years. If you contrast his performances against, like, Chisora and Chisora 2, if you contrast that with his performance against someone like Nevin Piket's earlier on in his career, it's poles apart. So for me, what type of shape he turns up in, what kind of condition he's in, is very, very relevant for a guy like Tyson Fury. Finally, there's a lot of talk. Tyson Fury goes on very regularly about how he's a gypsy warrior, how he's going to stand in front of Klitschko, tear his heart from outside his chest and eat it in front of him, and all of this sort of stuff. For me, I'm pretty confident that Fury's saying that to hype the fight, and Fury's saying that to boost his own celebrity and get his brand out there. And I've got no problem with him doing it. For what it's worth, I actually find it very, very entertaining, and it can provide some light entertainment in an otherwise dull card, like the card we had to sit through last night in Leeds. However, we've seen what happens when an opponent stands right in front of Klitschko. We saw what happened when Kubrat Pulev, for example, grew roots and became completely stationary when he was up against Wladimir. For me, Fury is a technician. First and foremost, he's a technician. He's not an immense power puncher. He's not an immense brawler, immense scrapper. He's a very well-rounded technical boxer. He's got a good double jab. He's got an excellent inside game. He's equally adept on the back foot. He's defensively capable. For me, all of this pulling someone's heart out of their chest, dragging them into the trenches, having a war, that's not what I want to see from Tyson Fury. And I'm confident that with Peter Fury training him, he's just hyping the fight. So I'd say I'm enjoying the build-up. For me, it's very, very entertaining. But my prediction is, whilst we should all enjoy it and revel in it, my prediction is that we won't see any hearts being dragged out of chests and any slug matches. I think what we're actually going to see here is a game of chess. A real sort of technical matchup where you see all of Tyson Fury's subtleties and varieties coming out in this game, and you see that he's actually a well-rounded professional, as well as having a very, very large and very, very entertaining mouth. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the build-up to this fight. I'm very much looking forward to it. Fury's doing a nice job of hyping the fight, and we must remember we're still 7 weeks away from the big showdown. But Fury's looking in good condition. It's going to be competitive, and I still think he can be the man to finally dethrone Wladimir Klitschko after 10, 11 years. Let me know your thoughts. Many thanks for watching. How have you found the build-up? What do you think about Tyson Fury's recent comments? What do you think about Tyson Fury's condition? If you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.